Today's episode is sponsored by Raul Rodriguez Law.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Leija Lounge. And just let me start this episode off by saying, on behalf of the Leija family, on behalf of the Leija Family Foundation, and on behalf of the Leija Lounge, when it comes to Project Marvel, Spurs, San Antonio, build, baby, build.
Build it up, man.
We need it.
We need it. Is it San Antonio Spurs? This is our hottest commodity. This is a organization that's woven into the fabric of our community, of our city. This isn't even a second thought, in my opinion. Not even a second thought.
I mean, we're the 7th largest city in the United States, and to do things to grow and to get better, and without a major organization like the Spurs, how do you even go forward? We're going back. We always want to go forward and get better and grow and be seen around the world or around to. That's a beautiful city. They have the San Antonio Spurs. Let's go and visit. That's the whole thing. People want to come down to, because we have a major franchise, which is the Spurs, and if you're not playing with the big boys, you're out.
And I've always said that the Spurs are the nucleus of San Antonio, but it goes further than that. Like, it's the Spurs just a piece of this whole project, like Jenny Carnes had mentioned. So like, yeah, building a Spurs arena, but it's like it's imagine the corporate companies that get to move because they view San Antonio as a hotbed of just the economic impact that could be held here. The Spurs is one thing, but it's just the potential for 20, 30 years down the road is, what is that going to look like? What is San Antonio going to look like? Are we moving back or are we moving forward? So the fact that Sean Elliott, most importantly, Sean Elliott, you got Peter Holt. The fact that we have to even fight for this, like, you could bring in the whole Spurs organization to come and fight to keep them in here is crazy to me. So,
and the other day, like I was texting y'all, it's like your wife of 50 years, right? Your wife of 50 years who's only getting hotter as time goes on, right?
Right.
Says, hey, you know what? I think it's time for me to upgrade my ring. I've only had this is the second one, whatever. I think I should upgrade my ring. Hell, I'll even pay half of it.
Yeah.
And the husband says, well, let's think about this.
Who's taking care of the 5% here, or the 10%? Well, we got to get that down first.
Imagine that.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Imagine that.
Not a good look. Not a good look for this mayor right now, and I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that. And it's just it's a mess.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, they got to build it. It's got to happen. Community needs it. It's big business development downtown. Spurs are making a major investment in this project, and it's going to take several years for it to all come to fruition. But it's a major investment that they're making, and I don't know. I mean, they're almost talking $2.1 billion. This needs to happen. The analysis is out there. As we were talking before, we started this podcast, that I respect the mayor and the position she holds in the city. She was duly elected. She won. We're in disagreement with this position that she has on wanting to pause it. I don't understand why there needs to be a pause. The data's out there. The data's not flawed. I mean, I think this is something that definitely needs to happen in our community. At the same time, as a mayor, part of your responsibility is certainly represent all of San Antonio, not just a certain district. But you also, it's like being a CEO, president of an organization, man. You have to build consensus. And you have to go about getting people to buy in and to, kind of wanting to move forward with a plan. This is one where, again, I don't know the mayor. I've never met the mayor. But just an outside observer, maybe watching the little clickbaits, the soundbaits on social media, I'm having a hard time understanding her strategy on all of this.
I feels like a lot of it comes in where she had a prior agenda coming in, and she did, right? Like she was saying, I'm gonna integrate change. I'm gonna really like change this whole thing of how city council is done, and I'm gonna clean it up and a lot of that. In one of the most pivotal moments of our city, though, and it's kind of like I was telling you, Mark. There's a wave coming. You know what I mean? There's a wave, and you can't stop that wave that's coming, right? Progress for the Spurs, for the city. She's turning around on that wave and saying, hold on. And it may not work. It's not. I mean, that's on my opinion. You know what I mean? You're going to get splashed. You got to go along to get along.
Is she actually saying she's not in favor of it, or she's just saying,
the whole thing
hey,
is when I'm looking at the clips online of her speaking at these rallies and interrupting Spurs Jesus's thing or whatever. Even on some of the things that are covered by the SA Current, Express News, and all that. Just hearing her speak. If you really want to be on the hook for 485 million.
489
million. The way she's saying it is almost like, this ain't even worth it, right? It's almost like that. And again, maybe it's one of those things where the way she's saying it isn't coming across the ear right. Mm-hmm. And maybe what she's saying is true, but the way she's saying it is really, so it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
The way you see it, she's taking the position of, I'm not really in favor of this.
Yeah, and
its current deal structure.
That'd be a whole thing, like we're saying. Yeah. Maybe she is in favor of it, and she's really trying to get a deal with all the right things in mind. But she's not vocalizing that much. Yeah. She's really saying
not coming out.
It's not coming across like that. It's not saying, "Hey, you know what?
Like, we're gonna put everything on hold."
She's a hater. She's a straight up hater.
Yeah, she's not telling the city, "You know what? We're gonna get a deal. We're gonna get the deal. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We're gonna happen. I'm just trying to cross my T's and dot my I's."
Right.
She's saying,
"See, if I were to hear that, to me, that's a different take."
For sure.
I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, okay, but can you please follow up? Can you give me a reasons why you want to do that?"
We
so
are
I
all
can
for
understand
this.
it.
We're all for this. I just want to make sure that this gets done, that gets done. She's not saying that.
She's putting a hold to everything first. And the thing is, I want her to do well, because if she does well, we all do well, right?
Agreed,
the city does
100%.
well. So, but to start this off, it's like, oh my God, how do you take backward steps right out of the bat, right out of the gate?
Making it hard for us to defend her actions.
we want her to do well, because if she does well, we all do well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we want this, but we all know it. To have the Spurs in the city it's important. It's vital that we have the Spurs here in the city. That's all we have.
So really, as I understand it, because I was even watching, Spurs Chairman Peter Holt talking, that and what I've read, right, and then but hearing it straight from Mr. Holt's mouth is zero taxpayer San Antonio resident putting money into it. Then I'm like, hey, I'm listening now. It's all funded by the visitors. And then in particular, the city's portion is coming from a fund that the state has designed for a venue, an attraction for a municipality, to use this funding mechanism to build. They can't use it for roads. They can't use that money for hire more cops, more
first responders.
They can't use it for any other city budget. This is the only thing they could use it for. Maybe there's some other little stuff they could use it for, but over on the general budget, they can't. That money can't be. That fund cannot be used for any of that. The county is going to have their opportunity to take it to the voters in November, so we all have a say in that, right? Okay. And then the Spurs are putting in $500 million into that mix. And then they're saying, but hey, this is 2025. Let's just say we get construction and, because of the tariffs, steel's costing more, whatever. And that 1.3 goes to 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 billion. Spurs are saying, we're on the hook for the rest. 100%, we're on the hook. Yeah. All of a sudden, now I'm like,
that looks pretty good.
How can you say no to that? And this just the jobs it's going to create from a construction, from a drafting design standpoint, all the construction, the trade workers working,
games, hotels,
right? You
food,
have to
restaurants,
all of that stuff, and there's a lot
parking.
There's a lot of money there. Now, as I understand it too, the deal, because I did read the term sheet that Spurs and the city have an agreement on, is that the Spurs are retaining they are paying the city $4 million in rent. That's fair for the use of the arena for 30 years. Also a non-relocation clause. Yeah, I like that.
That's nice. All those points are great, right? Like those are all great points, and I don't think anybody's refuting that except maybe the mayor, right? Where it's like, okay, well, how many like that whole visitors tax? How many times has she mentioned that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of one of those things where she's really pointing the finger towards us, and she's saying, "Hey, y'all's money's going here."
I don't know. I don't understand. I wish that she would just, and maybe she said it, articulated it. I haven't heard it yet. I haven't seen it on the clickbaits.
She better not show up to any Spurs games. That's for sure. I mean, she can get booed and
Man.
booed. And
Well, I mean,
she can't show up.
What- what
She dug herself in a hole. She can't show up to those Spurs games.
Well,
What happens when that
said
arena
she's
She
gets
should
a
be there
Spurs
all
fan.
happy, like clap.
Well,
you
she
know.
says she's a Spurs fan, but
Nah,
I mean,
she ain't no Spurs fan.
I
She's
don't
a
know.
Spurs fan. It would have happened.
The Alamo Dome investment. Hey, we hadn't had a title yet, so that's kind of like, hey, why are we building this team an arena? We don't even have a title yet. The Alamo Dome, that's a big one. Why are we even doing this, right? This one should be a no-brainer. These are 5-time champions. You know what I mean?
I think to the general population, it's probably a no-brainer. I don't know why this is a fight.
Yeah.
I think the optics.
Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, I think the optics are a little bit off on this one, and I don't know why. I'd like to learn a little bit more about it. I wish, the mayor or somebody would. Why?
I mean, people have a
investigation.
problem with Holdcat being the ones that are going to build the arena, and I'm like, well, if you're building your house, wouldn't you want to build the house?
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you could, wouldn't you build your own house if you could? You're going to probably do it the best, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
As opposed to an outside company who
You're not
doesn't
gonna
know
take
what we want.
shortcuts.
You
You're not
ain't
gonna
going
take
to take no
shortcuts.
shortcuts, right? We're going to build this house great.
And,
right?
and by the way, they're covering all the overruns.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to do it?
That's the mayor's thing.
To quote Henry Cisneros, why are we even playing with this?
Yes.
Why are we even thinking about this? Why are we even considering maybe not doing this, right? I mean,
Shouldn't even be a thought.
shouldn't even be a thought. But do I get the other side, what the mayor's trying to fight for?
Trying to see the Carfax.
Yeah. Anybody who's watching this could say, well, they got ties with the Spurs. They train the Spurs. They're in bed with the Spurs. So are we all. We're all in bed with the Spurs. This is San Antonio, bro. Like, we're in bed. You tell me you haven't gone out and celebrated anything
She
about
better
the
not be
Spurs?
that no parade when we win the next champion. Like she better not have her own float.
I don't want to see no
dude,
race
we-
for
No, I want her. I want her to win.
But we want her to do well.
Of
And we
course,
want her- we're
of course.
rooting for her because when she
She's making
does
it really
well,
hard.
we do well.
But the whole thing,
I get it.
I think
I'm just fired up.
Knowing I know you are, but knowing as first class, as a whole family is, and the sports organization RC Buford, that when they do win that next championship with Wemby,
Yeah.
and they do have that river parade,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be classy enough to invite her to be part of that celebration.
If I was her, I wouldn't
Despite
show
what
up
happened.
because there's a lot of drunk people in that Riverwalk and they're gonna be throwing things and that's not out of my.
it's been an
We're not
interesting
sports
couple of
fans.
months,
Yeah,
first
yeah.
couple of months for the new mayor. It's been an interesting first couple of months. And as you know,
We're classy. We're a classy
I
city.
think the hard part was just the first thing out of the gate.
but that's the thing. Like, the whole thing
It's
is
a big hot
Yeah, it's
potato.
just-
it's a big
That's
one,
the
but
first thing.
the whole thing is like, here's the whole
I'd rather die on the shield for something good than try to fight for something that's this is a big moment, but I don't know about
Is
this
there
or
a
that.
problem?
I'll die on the shield.
all the commenters on the comments, right, of all these SA Current, Express News posts, all the ones saying she's doing a great job, she's fighting for this, whatever. Is there a problem if she didn't mention it? Is there a problem with the numbers and with maybe not being real if she hadn't mentioned that? Is everyone going along with it?
Everyone's
You know what I
going
mean? And, this is San Antonio. How long have we been working on these highways?
Yeah.
Why haven't we finished those yet? Why haven't we invested that money in other ways before this?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean? Why now? Why hold it up now?
Why does a dollar matter
Where was
now?
all that before? You know what I mean? Like, these highways aren't done at all. It's been
What was
30,
that,
40
20 years
years.
ago?
Yeah, since you were
when-
kids. Since you were
Yeah,
kids.
you know what I mean? So what's the big deal? This city's always going to need improvement. There's always going to be road improvements. There's always gonna,
every city has
every
to do
city's always going
improvements.
to need this. Some people just want to fight. Some people just want to be on the other
Yeah,
side.
they just want to fight.
The,
You know,
the
they're bored.
naysayers. Okay, yeah, I'll fight.
They
for
need
you.
something to argue about.
Well, my feeling is this, is that politicians come and go. The Spurs
Or forever.
are forever.
I hope we hope.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, this is about as great as a partnership as you could have. The fans are. I mean, San Antonio is the Spurs. Spurs are San Antonio. It's one and the same.
And to quote Spurs Jesus, where's the assessment of the numbers? Where's the assessment number on with the impact of San Antonio if the Spurs
Does he
leave?
speak with an accent, Spurs Jesus? Like
It's a little bit of an Arabic, I believe. There's a little Arabic
Is it?
accent.
Yeah, well,
But the whole thing
Aramaic
about
or
it-
Aramaic? What is it? What is it?
Aramaic.
Aramaic.
Yeah.
The whole thing about it, though, he asked the mayor yesterday, because that whole thing happened yesterday, not to date this podcast, but it happened yesterday. Where's the assessment and the numbers on how San Antonio would be affected if the Spurs left? Where's that assessment?
Jeez, it's crazy. You should not even be thinking about something like this. It's like the Dallas Cowboys leaving Dallas.
Yeah.
Because they won't build him. This crazy.
Your team, the Cowboys.
Oh, come
That's his team, guys.
Yeah.
Trust me on
on.
that.
They're 0-30 Super Bowls in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
But that, you know,
But next year, this is our year.
This is their year. Yeah.
It's a very hot topic here in the city. You know, being on one side is, you know, you're guaranteed to hear feedback from the other side. You know, but
What type of
And
feedback
I
can they
don't
give
know,
us?
like-
But you know what, Brett? but here's the thing. Feedback is good. Having this discussion, this discord, it's all good as long as it's civil and nobody gets stupid and crazy.
yeah, it's
Dean.
all great as long as the Spurs stay.
But
All good.
as long as it's
I'm
all
holding back.
yeah, as long as it's all civil, it's all good. And at the end of the day, I think the right thing's going to happen no matter what. The right things is that this arena is going to get built, and I think once people start, that message resonates with people. That zero, as long as that's true, the way I'm hearing it, zero taxpayer dollars. My tax ain't going to go up anymore to pay for this thing. I'm all for it, man. It's
Got a
either
current
yes or
update.
no.
Got a current update on this situation right now from a guy. We'll just call him Fuentes.
Daisy,
The vote for strategic pause, which is her vote, failed.
we knew that.
we knew that was on that.
Yeah, I know, but still,
It's good that it, you know.
we want to keep it up to date.
And the whole thing, knowing us and how we move, like, it's only a matter of time until we do eventually meet the mayor. But the whole thing is,
Mayor, come
I
on
don't
on
think
this
she's doing
podcast.
anything
We'd like
She's
to have
smart
you here.
enough.
And,
I think
and-
she's,
and-
you know. But
No,
the whole
man, I'd
whole
like
thing
to
about
have her
it,
here. Let's
the whole
ask
thing
these
about it is
questions.
anybody watching
Her
this
and
could be
Dean.
saying, you know what, they're, you know, they have this opinion because she's a woman. They have this opinion because whatever, and it's a woman standing up for all this. Trust me, if it was a man, I think it'd be a lot worse. I think it'd be more of like, because I think we're being respectful because she is a woman in office, and
Or
she
being
does. She did
respectful because she is
did
the
deserve
mayor
that.
of San. She did win this
You know,
election.
she won it. We elected her as that, but at the same, and like to my dad's point, you hold the office now. We hope that you're successful.
Yes.
But it's our job as the citizens of the people that the citizens that you're representing to also hear us too, to also listen
Yeah.
to your citizens. This side too, not just that side. Listen to us too. You know what I mean? Like there's a, you know, the Spurs were here before you, right? 5 titles. I don't know how many titles she's got, but Spurs got 5.
5 reasons.
Small blip in the radar. We're going to get past this. Election's going to come in November for the county's portion of it. That's going to pass. And this thing's going to move
I
forward,
can just see it
man.
now. They're
And it's
gonna,
gonna
the Spurs
happen.
are going to give her the honorary jersey,
And they should.
You know what,
They
and
should.
No, I know they will. I know
here's
they
the
will,
thing, too.
but
should.
Here's the thing. Can you imagine, like, say, Spurs stay, right?
They're gonna
And-
stay.
and-
They're gonna
yeah,
stay.
And she's mayor for the next, is it 4 years?
4
Two-
years.
4 years. And she's mayor
Or
for the next
sooner.
4 years. And she's done with her role as mayor, and she's known for the mayor who tried to keep the Spurs
Exactly.
away.
That's
Can
the
you
whole
imagine
thing.
if that's what she's known for?
That's the whole thing.
mayor
We're
that
assuming
tried to
she's
keep
gonna be
the
there for
Spurs
4
away.
years.
First
but-
impressions
we
are
we
big,
want-
right?
we hope the
want
best.
her. I
We
want
hope
her,
the
but
best.
we want her to say she's the mayor that helped the city grow and get better, and we want all that.
She could have
She
been
ain't
the
doing
mayor.
that
She
yet.
could have initially. First impressions are huge.
Yes.
She could have been the mayor that spearheaded this movement.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, she decided to stand against it.
Yeah,
And-
that's just not good. I just don't like. I mean, we have to be positive. We have to grow forward.
I understand
Well,
her
I
stance.
I could see it, and for some of the people that are supporting the mayor in this initiative, I could see that. Hey, they're talking about, we need more affordable housing downtown. I agree that we
You've
do.
always needed that.
course,
And
yeah.
So,
You've always
but,
needed.
but
Why
but,
now?
But those people are under the belief that this is going to affect them economically
Because she's
some way,
saying that.
somehow, and
She's telling
there's
them
no
that.
proof to that.
But she's saying it. She's telling them that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the
Jason
thing.
was one of the guys who was against it. What are your thoughts on the whole thing, Jason?
You're against it, Jason?
Huh?
You're against it?
You're against the Spurs.
Yeah, I think they should move to Austin. Way cooler.
Yeah.
Less traffic.
More chill.
Less traffic. They need the traffic.
More smog.
I mean, honestly, she could do herself a lot of favors in just changing her tone.
For sure.
She could keep exactly what she's saying going, but she could have flipped the narrative by just saying one thing.
Yes.
But like Dean said, It's so awkward when she chose the absolute wrong time to say "Go Spurs Go."
Yeah.
Yes.
Reading the
She says
red
goes.
ball.
She says goes. One person just goes woo in the background, and she's like, "Yeah, go Spurs, go." Crickets.
Yeah, right.
And then she tries to play it out. Oh, my heel's stuck.
I don't think there's ever been that in the city ever.
I hope she does well.
We wanted to do what?
I gotta
We
throw
wanted
that
to
out
do
there.
well,
Wanted to do
yeah.
well. We wanted to
And by
grow.
the way, so just for people that maybe tune in for the first time, Jason is like our Siri, the Leija Lounge podcast. He's our Siri.
Yeah.
We refer to
I just press
Jason.
this. I just do that right there.
right.
And it's
Jason, what do you
Jason,
think?
yeah.
And he responds.
Pop right up.
Yeah.
No, yep. And for those people who say, "Hey, then all of this money we spend, the county's going to continue to spend on their the Frostbank Center, it's going to go downhill," I say no, it's not. I think that building, that arena, is going to have more use with the Spurs being gone, and more opportunities for the community to use it, but for more events to come into town, because a lot of times concerts pass us up
'cause the Spurs
because
dates
we
are
don't
over.
have the dates.
Yeah.
And if it's a tour, they have specific timing of when they want to come down here. And if the date's not available, we lose the show to Austin, for example. It could have been here. Well, now, guess what? Spurs have a home game. AC/DC's coming
And
to
these
town.
are major entertainers, right? Not just
Major entertainment.
We can't go backwards. We can't
We-
go.
we
We should have
shouldn't.
done this with this. We should have done the AT&T Center. No, we can't go backwards. We have to look forward. Everything. So I always tell people this: when you're driving your car and you have a big windshield, then you have a small rear mirror right there. The reason is because the reason it's so small is because what's behind you is not as important as what's in front of you.
Right.
What's in front of you is so important. That's why the rear mirror is that small. We're going forward. We don't want to look back.
That's right.
We want to grow and keep going and make things better for San Antonio. We don't want to look back and say, "Oh, we should have did this back then. We should have did." No, it's over with. I want to grow forward.
And
When
that's
you go
what-
back, I'm going forward.
And I think we're moving forward with all
Yes.
of this.
I think we're definitely going to move forward. I
And
think
we
this is
need
going
this.
to. I think this is going to happen regardless of all this that's going on. This is just our take on the
That
situation.
political
But-
office stance you just made right there. You might be running for mayor soon. In the next 4 years.
It's not like you hadn't been at Mayor Castle Hills, maybe.
In Mary Castle Hills.
When you're in an auto accident, you shouldn't be concerned with legal runarounds, just real advice. You deserve an attorney ready to work for you, an attorney that won't back down.
I've lost loved ones due to the negligence of others. If you or a loved one has been injured in an auto accident, I want to be there for you.
Raul B. Rodriguez and his team care about ensuring you and your family are represented, whether on the road or in the workplace. Raul is real, and Raul won't back down. Call 210-899-0300 to schedule a free consultation.
Youth mental health. It's a big issue everywhere. Not just here in town, but it's a big issue everywhere. Not to date this podcast, but on Saturday I'm going to be speaking at an event that is targeting mental health for the youth. And I know we've spoken on it many times on this podcast, but that's what this podcast is all about. It's mental health. In targeting the youth primarily, what are some of the challenges that you believe you see in youth mental health from just people, you come across people at the gym and people that reach out to us and all that, like Mark, you have kids, I have kids. What are some of the challenges you see, just going around the room, that you see with youth mental health? And I'll start with you.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is like finding your own path in your life. We're so influenced. I mean, I'm 30, so I was right in the age of, social media was just finally starting to kick in. But you're heavily influenced by the people around you, whether it's school or, the people you surround yourself with. But, it's hard to find yourself when you're always influenced by people you're around every single day. Mm-hmm. Who am I? What am I doing? And, what do I like? Like, that was really a big thing for me, is what do I even like? Because I was kind of in a bubble when it came to the high school I went to. Yeah, I think that would be the biggest one for me, was like just figuring out who you are and paving your own road.
That finding your voice, and I guess that goes along with finding who you are, right? But it's also, for me, challenges that the youth face. I know I asked the question, but there's two, and I think the first one is finding your voice and being able to express how you feel, right? A lot of the youth don't know how to do that, mainly because, like he's saying, you're influenced by maybe the people around you, your parents. Maybe they aren't doing it. Maybe they can't express. They never thought of that, right? Like our generation, we're right in the middle of this new generation and the old generation. We're right in the middle. I'm 34. So we're right there trying to bridge that gap. And what we're realizing is the older generation, they didn't have the opportunity to think about these things. Mental health wasn't a thing, right? Mental illness, maybe it wasn't a thing. You were just either crazy, quote unquote. I don't like that word, but
He's a little off.
he's a little off. He's just,
A couple of fries short of a Happy Meal.
You know what I mean?
Troublemaker, yeah.
All these things, taco short of a combination plate.
Right.
All these things, right? And they didn't think about it. They didn't prioritize mental health because they maybe didn't have the opportunity to, or maybe they didn't feel like they were meant to believe it was important. Now you're coming into this new generation of kids that are prioritizing it, right? But they may not know how to articulate it. They may not know how to speak about what they feel. And then once they do figure out how to speak or feel, speak about how they feel, who's gonna listen to me? Who cares, right? Like who do I talk to? If I talk to my parent, do they even care? Do they think I'm just being a baby? Do they think I need to toughen up?
You understand that because it's so new. Right?
Exactly, right? Where the parent mentality is easily of, hey, I didn't even do this. Maybe you're being a little too sensitive. Maybe you just need to toughen up. And that's how they process it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying just the parents, but it's hard for kids to find outlets that care or that will listen, right? So in these events like that are happening on Saturday that I'm going to speak about, it's kind of one of those things that it empowers the youth to give them a voice. When you give the youth a voice, you can hear the problem. And when you can hear the problem, you can find a solution. And that's what guys our age, they're calling me a influencer at this thing, right? Like a mental health influencer, which will proudly wear. But it's one of those things where we're trying to bridge the gap between old and new. How do we get the kid to understand the parent? How do we get the parent to understand the kid? Do you experience any of that, Mark, with kids, with your kids at your age, at that age?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are influenced a lot. Social media is out there a lot, right? And but just the mere fact that a lot of folks are talking about it, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe some people are doing their own self-diagnoses on it, right? But I'm always one where you just can't ask ChatGPT about this diagnosis. You got to go seek a professional, really, right? And then there's either there's therapy you can go to.
But again, the hard thing, like I've done all that, right? And I've been to therapy and all this, but a lot of it, I think, on the youth level is being able to relate to somebody who's walked in my shoes. The therapist has studied this, but they don't know what I feel like. And I was using this on TV today, and I was saying it's almost like a male gynecologist. If you're a woman going to a male gynecologist, yeah, I've studied this. I don't got it though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't like. It's almost one of those things. Like male gynecology is great, right? But the whole thing about it is like, are you gonna really trust that guy? Like with what you feel? Hey, I feel this. You know what I mean? Oh, let me look at my book.
Well, so if I can recall it correctly, Denzel Washington was making a movie, and there was the person that was interviewing him was trying to kind of get some a response out of him, but he was like, "Why did you choose?" It was a black director. I think it might have been Spike Lee. He said, "Why'd you choose Spike Lee to direct this? Like, you could have gone with a lot of other people. Like, why was it Spike Lee? Why was it a black person?" And he was like, he asked the interviewer who was white. He was like, "Do you know what it smells like when you're curling your hair and it starts to that heat starts to come around? Like, do you know what that smells like? Like, it's not a color thing, it's a culture thing."
Exactly.
So he was making those comparisons. He's like, "You think if I was gonna do an Italian movie, I was gonna get Spike Lee or
Scorsese.
So it's a culture thing, but that relates to how you're putting it. Like I need to have I relate to this person.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's why I come in, and I'm so glad I'm a part of events like this, and I'm so glad that I can have opportunities to speak this platform in general. I could speak about it because you never know who's watching that can relate. Right? And like I was saying on TV today to the people that I was with, it's also about the family. You guys can relate. You can relate. You're around somebody who has a mental illness, who's walking and who can speak. That's really rare. That's not every day.
What the thing is like you said long time ago, years ago, right? Is we have to listen.
You have to listen.
The parent or the adult has to listen because old school, my mom, my dad were telling me what to do and how to do it and what not to do, and they weren't listening so much of our feelings, and that's why we didn't know how to express ourselves because, no, you got to just toughen up, be a man, you're a man, don't cry, you hit yourself, don't cry, go run it out, shake it off, you're a man, don't cry,
crying,
boys
stop
don't
crying.
cry, boys don't cry, right, whatever, right? we didn't know, we couldn't express our feelings because they did it for us. And whenever something came up, toughen up, go outside, play, whatever.
Rub some dirt on it.
And when you said, when you were young, said, you have to listen to me.
Yeah, because it's like an upgrade moment, right? Like I always use the analogy, kids, you may be an iPhone 17, right? An iPhone 17 Pro Max. Parents are an iPhone 4.
S.
It's not meant to correlate. You know what I mean? They have to update. And iPhone 4S's don't update as far as 17.
Yeah.
They have to want to. They have to want to listen. They have to want to upgrade. For kids, you have to be patient with your parents because it's not something that they just don't want to understand you. They may not even understand
A lot of it too
themselves.
is experience, and you can't teach experience.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes you just gotta, you gotta listen to that because they've been through it. We haven't. But there's a fine line there.
And the whole thing about it, I've heard it so many times from parents. How do you help me understand my kid? Help me understand my kid. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're just doing this. Well, they're telling you what's wrong. You're just either choosing not to listen to it. You want to ignore it. Maybe they're telling you something that
you don't like.
That you don't like has to do with you. So you're not. You're wrong. I didn't do that. That's not.
Yeah, it's not me. I don't
It's
act
not
that
me.
way.
How was that? I was there. I gave you everything. What do you mean? All those little things.
I only
You're not-
spanked you on Fridays.
Yeah. You're not listening, right? And vice versa. The parent has to be patient with the kid because they're doing something that maybe you haven't done. Maybe they're going to teach you something about your emotions, about your mental health that you really didn't think you would ever think about from the young age to now. You haven't had the opportunity. You can't blame the generations for being different. The generation above us, those problems are different. The solutions are different. The generation, the youth, the new generation, the youth. Those problems are different. Those solutions are different. This doesn't always work with this.
Do you think, James, that my parents certainly raised me a lot different than the way I'm raising my kids? And do you think it started where? So, for example, I think sometimes we're overprotective of our kids. And I think sometimes we do maybe too much for our kids. And it's not to take away, I think initially it's not a DNA thing for us to want to take away any independence from them or want them to figure something out. Did a lot of that stem from that time, the parents taken away, just maybe wanting to do too much for the kid?
You have
and
to
the
think
kid
about
not
it.
able, being
You have
able
to think about it, like the
fully
way
develop
the way that
a certain
y'all were
way?
raised. The way that y'all were raised, you didn't have a choice on the matter, right? The
Right.
way that we're raised, we don't have a choice in the matter, right? The fact that I'll say y'all's generation, y'all are close in age, right? We're the kids or whatever. Y'all's generation, y'all put in place for us to. We all get sports awards. Everyone wins. That's not our idea.
Yes, it was our generation that did
Right?
that.
But yet, it flips and says,
Yeah.
well, we can't all just do this. Like, the world ain't just going to do that to you. You got to toughen up. You got to do this. But yet, y'all put in place that everybody wins, right? Because y'all felt maybe...
Nobody wanted to get left behind.
No one wanted to get left behind because
Yeah.
maybe y'all's generation felt some of that,
Right.
right? So I think it started with the way y'all are parenting. Y'all's generation is parenting us. Y'all are more aware of our feelings because of those little moves, because of those little decisions that
y'all felt.
But we might lose the fact that that's why we did this.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like say a child says, I'm feeling depressed. I don't like this. I hide my feelings too much, and the parent says, well, where did you get that from? The kid would look at the parent and say, from you, because that's how you've been all this time. You just know how to deal with it because you've been doing it forever. And the kid, the parent says, man, I did do that. I did grow up that way. I hid all my feelings, and I wasn't happy, whatever. And now she sees it, or he sees it in his son or daughter, and says, "Where'd you get that from?" I got it from you. I'm thinking like you. I'm expressing myself now. You never did.
And that's how you break. That's how you break the cycle. That's how you break the stigmas, right? That's how you do all this stuff. It's our generation's responsibility to break those stigmas for the next generation, right?
So it's your generation's responsibility to correct the flaws that our generation set into motion.
Maybe put in place flaws, heavy word, right? But
because
at
we
the same
didn't do
time,
it. We didn't do any of this. But we didn't even know ourselves.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. The way we were raised. We were raised that
Well,
way.
I
because
do
our
remember
parents
though.
said, Don't cry. Toughen up. Be a man.
Yes, I
and
remember.
And so now when we're
when you're raising y'all's kids, y'all are saying, I ain't gonna do that because that was tough. Everyone gets an award, but then there's that flip side of it of Well, toughen up. You got to be tough, right? The world ain't gonna just cater to you, but y'all are. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's a catch-22. You want to protect our feelings, but at the same time, when we're expressing them,
But that's hard though, because
know.
that I imagine that comes from like, because for me, I have the same mindset you do, but I'm a lot like Dad, and just with my characteristics. So like, although I have the proper mindset of how I should approach something, my DNA is a lot like Dad. So like, although I might, I can look back at some point and be like, oh, I noticed I acted out, not like you act out, but like, I should have checked myself on that rather than, I shouldn't have said that. I should have, taken a deep breath and, approach it the proper way. But, so you might have the proper idea on how to approach it, but your DNA might react differently.
definitely. And everyone has a different.
And that's
different
fine.
setup.
That's fine.
Like, let's just take my wife, for example. We have 2 kids right now, 7-year-old and a 4-month-old. And a lot of times we'll, lose our, not me, I can't say I do it too much. I'm very aware. My wife is too, but 2 totally different people, right? 2 totally different parenting styles with me and my wife. We get along, but it's different. Sometimes my wife would get overwhelmed. She has 2 daughters, right? We have 2 daughters, and it's women, right? And it's whatever. And my wife will sometimes just be like, whatever. And she'll come back to me and she'll say, man, I know I just lost my cool. I shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have done that. Like, I hope she doesn't think I'm thinking this about her or whatever. And I tell her, go tell her that. Don't tell me that. Go tell her that. That's what you should be telling her. Tell her those things. I don't feel anything about it. I wasn't even there. But you're expressing to me how you maybe messed up, how maybe you missed a step, how maybe you didn't react the right way. Go tell her that. Right? That's something that our generation didn't do. Like the parents above us didn't do. My parents never told me. My parents never told me they were wrong, ever. Right?
Yeah.
That's many people my age. Our parents didn't say.
What do you mean?
Wrong,
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
We knew
You know what I
everything.
mean? But they never said that they were wrong or that they could miss a step or that they could do anything like that. We have to change that narrative.
Yeah.
I tell my daughter all the time, I don't know. I think that was a wrong move of mine. No one's perfect, and you're going to help me and all that. I do tell my kids that. I make sure that my wife, when she expresses to me that she missed a step, I make sure that she tells our daughter that. I want there to be transparency there.
And that's how it was like
You know?
whenever, you would be, doing things and then, they would react a certain way and then you would talk about like, how you were raised was in a crazy environment, which, at some point it was. But, so you would ask them, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? And then in my head, I'm like, they didn't have the answers. Like they're doing it for the first time. Like you can't expect them to know everything right away. But that's just our vision of them being perfect. You know what I mean? Like we view them as perfect. But now, seeing you be a dad and, now it's like, we don't all have the answers. We're just doing what we know, what we can do.
But that's important to vocalize.
But when you're able to kind of translate it and see, I'm human.
This is my first time on Earth too.
Yeah, right.
I haven't been here before.
So the people you're speaking to is going to be, what's the age group for this?
So they're inviting. They're
Two.
inviting ages 12 to 22, and
That's perfect.
12 to 22 to sit in on that conversation. It's free, and for people to be a part of the conversation, and even like youth mentors and people that work with youth, youth counselors or whatever, to be a part of the group and how to maybe better, handle those things, handle the youth emotions and what they're saying and all that. What I'm looking for is I'm a part of a panel. It's not just me. I'm a part of a panel, and I wonder how many of those people have experience with a mental illness. Like I was telling one of the ladies who was on San Antonio living with me. She's from the West Side, and I said, you know what? I look like the community that we want to reach. I'm not in a suit and tie. I have tattoos all over my body. I look like where I'm from. I'm from the South Side. I was born in the South Side. I have 13 years in the South Side. I look like where I'm from. I represent that, right? I'm a Mexican-American man. I represent who we're trying to hit and who we're trying to target, the youth that we're trying to hit. I look like them. They're more entitled. They're more likely to listen to me than the guy who's in the suit who's trying to show them that he has it all together, right? But little do they know, sometimes the men in the suits aren't always all that great. Sometimes the guys look like me or the ones that the guy in the suit
You'll
is
resonate with them a
They
lot
can
more.
relate to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
relate
They
to
can
you.
relate because they see
I know
me.
that guy. I have a beard just like that. I have
They
a tattoo
see me
just like
in
that.
them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so that little thing can just be, okay, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's been there. He's walked it. He looks like me. He has what I got. He knows exactly what it is. That's why for me, I'm so glad to be a part of these things, because I think I hit that. I really hit that demographic, the youth demographic, as opposed to maybe somebody else who's going to be in there making sure he has his Rolex on.
Yeah.
It's a little different, you know.
A lot different. Listen, man, I applaud you for that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why heavily involved in raising money and supporting organizations that are doing everything mental health, right?
Mental health, advocacy, you know, it's very young. You only think, how many years has that been around, people talking about it? You know, they weren't talking about it at y'all's, you know. So think about it. Like, think about how young that talk is.
But see, that's interesting, because I'm wondering if there's programs out there that can educate our generation, your generation, on how to really communicate and understand, have different mindset to dealing with your own child that might have a mental illness, right? And identifying those.
Well, that's the key. It's when someone in the family has it, it affects everybody in the family.
Right.
When one person has it in the family, it affects everybody, because we all
feel it
and hear it and see it, and sometimes people don't know what it is. Maybe there's families out there that don't know what's going on. If we didn't know, you know, James was when you got diagnosed, 25?
Something like that.
When you got diagnosed, but you said you knew you had something. You were what? 12,
I knew I had
13?
something when I was 12. Like, when I was 12, I was just like, man, like, this is weird.
But,
you know?
we vacationed everywhere together. We did everything together, you know, right? So he played baseball. I mean, he played football, basketball. He did everything in school.
Played baseball too.
He had great grades, but there was something there, and us thinking, why would he be that? He has everything. But that's not that. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Has nothing to do with anything like that. But we thought, he's happy, he has a car, he has a girlfriend, but that's not what it is. It's not about that. And parents who are out there thinking, well, my son has everything. He can't have a problem.
He's good.
He's good. He has good grades. He's good. He doesn't. None of that has nothing to do with any of that. And they need to listen.
Yeah, mental health illnesses, mental health problems, they don't discriminate. They don't care how much money you got in your pocket.
Yeah.
It don't matter. It don't matter what shoes you're wearing. It don't matter what you got on your wrist or on your neck. It can find you. You just never know who's walking around with that. You know, like there's so many times I met, like with me and my brother, we were close growing up, and I remember going to Disney World, punching him hard. You know what I mean? Like, just like losing my cool. And I just remember thinking, like, that wasn't me. Like, where did that come from? Like, why did I just want to, right? We're at Disney World, happiest place on earth, and I'm here fighting him.
Even Mickey Mouse took his head off. He's like, what?
What did I just see?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse is Mexican.
Yeah.
So I was just like, how did that was not me, you know? These guys know when I'm a dick. They know when I'm not feeling good. They know when to leave me alone, you know, and they know when I also need to talk to somebody, you know, and that's just one of those things that, you know, I say I'm here speaking and I'm able to talk on conventions. I'm able to be on your local news talking about certain things because I have such a great support system. I don't think if I had that, I'd even be here. My wife, all this stuff. I always say my wife saved me. She called me at the right time. And I always think, like, you know, I'm able to have a voice. I'm able to be here. This platform is able to be here because I have such a great support system, you know.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. But that's all it takes sometimes, just
I think
someone to listen.
It's listen.
But here's the thing. I think we are all flawed in some way.
How could you not be?
Everyone's got just,
We ain't
we're all
God.
flawed, right? We're all flawed in
might
some
be.
way. It's identifying it, and I think maybe our generation, we just dealt with it. We figured it out.
Yeah.
We persevered, pushed on, did whatever.
Or maybe you didn't deal with it.
But maybe we didn't deal with it. That's the other side of it.
And we all have that.
It's still there, but
we
you
all-
kind of suppress it.
I think
Get
we
used to
all
it,
know
right?
someone
Are you so
in
used socks?
someone in our lives, in our friends or cousins or relatives, whatever, right, that hurt themselves because we don't know why.
Yeah.
And there was something there that we had
There was no outlet
had
maybe for them
family
to
or friends
discuss
or
and
something
talk to it.
just they hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And we said, why would he do that?
Because I mean, we've seen it. Actual families where somebody has spoken up. Dad, I have a problem with this, and in our community, sometimes it's like, you know, toughen up, man.
Yeah.
You think you got problems? Let me tell you about
Back
my
in the-
problems. And
Yeah.
the whole thing comes
But
up,
back
right?
in the day, our saying back when we were young, and he just wants attention.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
That's a big
they
one.
need
Yes.
the attention. They're trying to
Yeah.
speak out. They're trying to,
Yeah.
but he just wants attention.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing that parents do. Sometimes they'll reach out. My kid cut himself. My kid's threatening suicide. He's doing all this stuff. Well, listen to him.
Yeah.
Listen. Like, he's telling you what's
Yeah.
going on. Like, why are you ignoring? Why are you talking to me? Talk to them.
Right.
Maybe you don't know how to talk to them. Maybe you're,
I
you
think
know.
it was perfect what you said earlier. It's like when, with Vinay and Anya, is that she comes and tells you, well, I may have, whatever. And, well, great. Go and tell
Go
her.
say that
That's so-
exact same
that's
thing.
So like a family.
Yeah.
You know, like if we were young and Mom and I said, man, I told James this and I regret it. Well, go and tell him that.
Don't tell him that. You don't know what that
I'm
does.
watching ESPN. You could, why you bother me?
Yeah.
Maybe later. I'll tell him later, whatever. And
But
that's
I
the
think
thing.
this conversation's a great conversation. I'm glad you guys are doing it. I just wish, we all need, as a foundation, we need to do more to support this healthy discussion, to educate people more.
Maybe it's us hosting these talks. You
Maybe
know what
it's
I mean?
us.
And that's what I was telling the lady who was working for NAMI, for Pathways to Hope, which is the event that I'm gonna speak at. I was telling her, this is such a young idea. This is the mental health thing's only been around for so long that people are accepting the idea of talking about it, that it's hard to figure out where to help. You know what I mean? It's hard to figure out what to do because it's so new. This is only their first one, including the youth in the conversation.
Wow.
You know what I mean? They usually hold mental health conferences for adults and stuff. This is the first one for the youth. So it's a big deal. You know what I mean? It's a big deal, pickle. So like, it's one of those things that it's so new that how do you use that money? Is the money being spent the right way? Is money what they need, or is it ears, or is it a talk like this? It's definitely one to brainstorm for us on
Yeah.
our end though.
Would love to, man.
I just to end this podcast on a positive note, parents, if you have kids who you feel may be going through something, I hate to break it to you, but it may be time for you to upgrade your mentality. It may be time to upgrade your ears. It may be time to make an extra space in your heart or in your brain or in your schedule for your kid. There's a lot of people that reach out to me and I'll tell them, they're talking to you, they're telling you what they're feeling, but you may not be accepting of it, right? And for kids, if there's for the youth, for maybe people my age, if you have parents or anybody around you, your wife who may not understand, be patient. Maybe they're not dealing with themselves and they're not going to deal with your emotions, right? They can't process theirs, so why would they process yours? That takes time. That's where the lines of communication have to be, connected.
I think an important one too is parents, get your kids together, sit down at the dinner table, have dinner, and talk about what can be going on in your life, what's going on, how do you feel.
Just about your day.
Just sit down.
Sit together,
We
yeah.
used to do that, right? We used to sit down
Every night.
Thursday and Friday.
When we lived together, when we
Kids,
lived
every night when
together,
we were
yeah.
kids, but we sit down and just talk. Just talk to your kids. Just say, how is it going? Is there any problems going on? If can I help with you with anything? Is anything going on in school that you're not comfortable with?
You'll
Talk
be
to
surprised how
Just
far a simple
talk.
question goes.
Just talk, because right now the kids are in the room with their phones. The parents are
On their phones.
They're on their phones watching TV. The kids are just sit down, have family time together,
And turn on the Leija Lounge.
Yeah, turn on the Leija Lounge and just listen to your kids. Talk to them and just like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, all it takes a day. Let's talk together. Let's talk together as a group. I remember I tell people that when you guys were in high school and you had your girlfriends, I always said, we're having family night on Friday night. Invite your girlfriends. It doesn't matter, but we're going to have family night. We eat together. And after that, y'all go on your way and do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what, family night's important.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that. And, y'all brought y'all's girlfriends and y'all took off.
Bring back family night.
Yep.
Anything to leave off on that note, guys?
It was
Final
beautiful,
words?
brilliant.
Build it.
Build
it.
Build it.
Build, baby, build.
Build, baby, build.
If you've gotten this far in the podcast, guys, thank you so much. It means so much to us that you reached this, that you're watching. I want to leave it on a shout out to Sterling Holmes.
Shout out Sterling. Shout out Brainwave
Sterling.
Records. I'm looking for that sponsorship, guys. Love y'all.
And go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs.